Welcome to the podcast, Entrepreneur Share Secrets with Sandra Mosman. Today I have a special guest, Lidija Newman from the creative agency Good Theory.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you for having me here. I'm very honored to be your guest. I run my creative agency, and we have been running that for last 2 years, almost 3. We started as a marketing agency, but we kind of developed as our clients asked, and got where we are at the moment. And Good Theory, it's something we love doing and really enjoying.
Perfect. So the first question is, you started as a marketing agency. Why you transitioned to the creative agency, and what's different?
Okay, so I came from a fashion background, and more of like, I would say that my mind for sure, it's more creative. Working in fashion business was very little about creativity and so much about numbers and spreadsheets and all the stuff that it's really not so much fun for me. That's why I was kind of in a search of more doing something creative. And I started doing photography and was doing in Los Angeles that for a couple of years. Yes, I kind of have a lot of as well experience in marketing agencies, working in marketing agencies. But that's why kind of we started, me and my husband. He has a background in as well creative he was doing, what was it called? Like a creative art and things like that. So he doesn't work at all in that, never worked in that, but he is as well very creative. So we started marketing, and we had clients who will come to us actually asking us for ads and asking us for website, and but they didn't have any really good identity, meaning like their logo was fine, I can see their colors fine, font, but they didn't know who they are really. Mm-hmm. What are they selling? Like, how are they going to represent themselves? So that's how we kind of started working a little bit of that work for them, because you can go on and really do something without having basics met. And we really enjoyed that part. And I think coming from like a creative background, I just felt like this is something that I really want to do. Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So how's the clients' like results change when you worked with the branding instead just marketing? When you started to do the logo, like also like concepts of it?
It's kind of a very different approach to that. When you're working in marketing, it's a lot analytics. Mm-hmm. You can kind of show numbers from mm-hmm. ads. Either it's a Google ad, either it's like a social media ads. There are analytics, and you can prove that this is working or not working, or it's SEO, right? Is your website being seen? It's a lot of, yes, analytical work behind it as well. When it comes to creative, you can't really prove, mm-hmm. a lot of things. It's that's why creativity, it's more about emotion, really, mm-hmm. And that's actually why I think we love our work, because it requires a lot of soft skills. Mm-hmm. It requires, a lot. It requires a lot, just feeling about the brand, because mm-hmm. brand, it's you don't love brand. Let's say, I'm not sure, Nike brand because of their analytics. You love them, because how they make you feel as a brand. You feel athletic, you feel fast when you wear their clothes, and they're not just about the clothes. They're about selling you like being an athlete and feeling like, performing.
Yeah. So what kind of projects do you do? Like what kind of like type of projects?
Well, different, really identity. That's like a branding, so we do like a branding packages, and where in that it's involved logo, color palettes, and also typography. It's for the website. That usually we do at the beginning, and then we go on to building someone a website. If that's what we are doing. We do websites, obviously, as well. We do photography as well. Now, personal branding, it's very something people are seeking. So we as well offer help with personal branding. We're not fully in yet with everything because our focus was mostly on brands. But we really want to listen our people that come to us and offer them what they need, right? Because you have to, when you run an agency as well, a lot of people tell us, oh, have a niche, go for your niche, which is true. It might work for someone, but I think my preferred ways, I like to listen what people need. And then lately we had a lot of like asks for photography or a brand, like helping someone with their branding, but it's more for the individual.
Yeah. So you see, but more like person want to brand himself, and not like a company kind of. What's your percentage of the
there
person?
Both. There it's both, but I think because it's such a big rise on personal branding right now, a lot of individual people without having any real brand, they're just wanted to kind of like work on their own branding. Either they're a coach or they're a nutritionist, because in today's age, people really come after someone, meaning not what you're selling or your brand, but who you are. So that's very important.
So how do you find who they are? Do you have like some questionnaire what they fill up? Like what do you use for them? Like, oh, this is like your personality. This is like your introvert or like extrovert, or like your colors are.
Well, we don't really we don't really describe a person. We just kind of guide them, I would say. Most of all, we have a long interview usually with our clients at the beginning. Doesn't matter if it's a personal brand or a brand, but we have a very long interview with very excessive questions. So we go through them through those questions and kind of guide them to finding answers themselves, really, because we are not there to tell who they are, right? Or how they have to find it themselves, how they want to be perceived, how they want to make people feel with their brand. And then we just really help them put their thoughts together.
Yeah.
So yes, that's kind of a long answer to it.
So the creativity is, I think, difficult. You can't put a time frame on it. So how do you put how much it costs? Because sometimes it takes like, 2 weeks or 2 months to find the personality or like identity or like create the logo, but sometimes it takes like 1 week. Like how do you like work on it with like money wise?
Well, we don't really sell. You don't really sell in creative agencies. You don't really sell a logo, or I mean, yes, that it's what you deliver, but there's a bigger picture. You don't sell a logo or a color or a typography. You sell the end goal. What's the end goal of them? The end goal is, I want to be perceived by people in certain tribe this way, right?
Yeah.
And I want them to see as, let's say, a leader for them, or let's say, as if someone is a nutritionist, I want to approach these people, and those things that we deliver will help them get there, so they can increase their profitability. You know, they increase clientele, and all the rest.
How do you deal with the difficult clients who don't like nothing? Like you do the logo, you maybe chose the colors, you kind of get like, this is example, this, and maybe this way and this way and this way. And she's like, no, I don't like it. No, I don't like it. How do you deal with it?
Well, we really don't have, I think it's everything. It's about the approach to it. And also you have to have authority in your field. I think if you don't show your authority from the beginning, I think that comes with pricing yourself, comes hand in hand. If you have little low pricing, and you can approach those type of clients. And those type of clients usually will be complainers too.
I see.
So we have like a certain way how we go about it. And we deliver just one logo at the end. We don't deliver. That's why there is a process that we have, which is a very great process, and of going through an interview with them. So there is not anymore much back and forth. Yeah, because if they get through the interview with us and we deliver in like 3 weeks, they can't come back because we went on what's the answers to us, right? So they can like tell us, oh, maybe here a little bit or here, that's fine. Yeah. But we can't they gave us the answer that they gave us, right? Only we can go back if now the answers have completely changed, right? But I don't believe in 3 weeks someone's answer are completely going to change. That means that a company or their brand's model is changing, right?
So you mentioned that you kind of remove or like these complaint people based on the like pricing. You like chose like the good pricing where like people who complain don't come to you. They kind of like
not necessarily. I think just, how can I answer this? I think people that come to us and people that want to come to an agency are someone who know why they're coming to an agency. They're coming to agency because they're searching for authority in that space. If you knew how to do a logo, you would do it yourself, right? If you knew how to do your own branding, you would do it yourself. Or very often they would search for someone cheap. Yes. And still have so many inputs, want to have so many inputs and micromanaging that. And I think that's the difference, because if someone with a bigger budget comes to us, it's because they're searching for that authority, because they want to wash their hands off that. And usually those people or those brands are someone who is already far away in their business, because they have so many other important things to focus on, that it's really a very little part that they want to put into hands of someone who is professional in that field.
Yeah, I see. So how do you market yourself? Like, what's the channels was the most helpful for you?
I mean, we don't really market ourselves with channels much at all. We do have a presence out there, which I think it's important. Mostly it's a word of mouth and networking, I would say. And I think that's a very important in the beginning of any agency stage. If it's like a boutique agency like we're not a huge agency that we have, 30 people in the office and things like that. So we are a very boutique agency, and mostly word of mouth and networking. We are very new in Austin. just a couple of months. So for us, networking has been great because people get to know us. And as well, the other thing, collaborations. I think we can't forget about that. Partnership with different other agencies that don't do what we do, or maybe need some support a little bit, and we can support them. Networking with anyone who does something around our agencies, kind of like other photographers, videographers, or some advertising agency or things like that.
Okay. So who is in your team? Like how big is your team, and like who do what in your team?
So everything started with me and my husband, and we basically have, I would say, around 10 people that we work with. We don't have no one in-house because we don't have an office, and we don't have like full-time employees. Everyone is a contractor, which really works very well for us at the moment, because we did set up this agency for a particular reason. We are parents. So, we want our freedom at the end of the day. When you have in-house people, employees, the structure of the business completely changes.
So when did you start to hire people? Like in the beginning, or?
Yeah, straight away, because we knew, I worked in an agency setting, so I know how agencies work. And we straight away just focusing on networking, getting new clients. That's what I think every business person job is, to grow the business and get people to know about any founder and owner. That's really their job. And I think most of the rest they should delegate to someone. So someone better than them. Someone better than them.
So what did you learn when you had the team, like maybe some mistakes you did in your career or in the business, what you maybe could avoid, or like what's, maybe talk more about some
there's
tips.
So many. We're still learning. Everyone you got to be open to just making mistakes, and someone else making mistakes. That's normal, and it's always going to happen. It's not going to change. But yeah, for sure. I had other businesses. It's not my first business. So I have learned by failing a lot of times. So it's nothing like really new to me, running a business and having the opportunity to work with other people and contractors. The most important, I think the biggest lessons were how you work with people a lot and who you work with. That's for me, very important, because a lot of sometimes in a team, someone can break the team or build the team up. So I think from beginning, that was a lot of our lessons, who we work with, because a lot of people, and who we hire, right? Because sometimes they will say, oh, yes, I know everything. I know that. I done this, I done that. And then a lot of work will come from, one client and another client, and they would have to juggle maybe 3 clients, and they would disconnect completely, and we can't find them. They maybe traveled somewhere, and we're like, oh, wow, this, now it's putting a lot of pressure on us. And that it for sure led to some miscommunication and, losing clients from our side, for sure. Not because of our fault, but because we hired maybe not the right person for that. So I think being very clear from beginning, and very honest, clear, and straight to the point with who you want to work in the future that taught us to have a better onboarding, to have a better hiring system, and ask the right questions and be very transparent how work is gonna look.
So when it's so your team creates some ideas, creative ideas, you have your own creative ideas, and client have his own creative ideas. How do you put it in one basket, everything? When everybody's so different, like team, like, no, I like this font. Or like, you don't like this font. Or like a client, I hate this font. Like, how do you like manage everybody?
I mean, our clients have, of course, a lot of input, but they don't have any input in our process until we deliver something. And as I mentioned to you before, they come to us because of our expertise, right? So I'm not going to say 100%, but 95%, they're happy, at the end, and they believe, okay, if someone who knows this and is doing this for years, it's telling me this is how it's going to be, I'm not going to like fight back. Because, when someone operates a business or runs a brand, has so many other things to think about, to be stuck on just one thing, right? Of course, if they say, no, I would maybe like this more or that more, then yes, we can go back to our designers and talk to them. What's the other option that we can, right? Because at the end, we want to make every client happy, right? But we have to be okay as well that that's not possible always to do, right? Sometimes we will try our best, but there are clients that maybe will not be the happiest, and we will try to work it out always as we can. So yeah, but we mostly it's work between us and our designers. I mean, we trust the designers we work with because they're not new designers. They have like a lot of years that they have been in that field. So we trust their eye and their expertise, and they usually come to us with a couple of examples, and then we kind of brainstorm it.
So, for example, for logo, do you make any mock-ups, maybe like by hand, something like, oh, I like this kind of idea, or you just like, so we need logo for this person, create what you think?
Well, yes and no. I mean, they can do on their own whatever. We don't do that. Me personally, we kind of just go through all the questionnaires. We went with our clients and kind of see the bigger picture, what they like, and then we discuss that with our designers. Like, they like to be perceived as fun. So what's fun, right? Like, let's how can we like show that in a logo, in typography or wherever, that it's going to be then laid on their website, and they will be perceived as fun, because maybe they want to approach girls from 16 to, I don't know, 21, right?
Yeah.
Depends on the brand, really. But that's just an example.
I see. So how do you differentiate yourself from other creative companies?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think, my expertise for sure, because I have lived in 7 countries. So, I come with a very different approach, the way I work with people as well. I want to make it fun, and I want to make it easy. And I love being very personal with my clients and with people I work with. I approach for sure work, everything and anything that I didn't like in my days in working in corporations and office, I like to bring in my business, meaning being very open, very honest, fun, make it like easy for one another. That's with like our team, but with the client, for sure, expertise and an eye for for approach to creativity. I mean, I'm from Europe, so we have a different eye for what creative is. I always say that, and to my husband and to people we work with, that America is great with marketing. They're great with advertising. They're great. It's always been. There has no been other country who is so loud and so, it's pressing so much on advertising and colors everywhere. Which other country really you go other than like Korea, South Korea, right? And they're very as well loud with like, you drive and it's everywhere, everything, right? But in Europe, you really don't see that. People, I think, approach it's much more settled, and it's a different approach to design, and that beauty of like art. And I like to bring that in our work for sure.
I see. So how do you work with the clients again? Like you have your creative agency, for example, like to create the logo is like one-time thing, like creates like text, like you're like, what's the style of your website will be one-time thing. Like how do you work like past it? Do you have like some ongoing like projects with them?
No. So just because of our lifestyle too, we created our agency to fit our lifestyle. And we really don't do on a retainer anyone. We don't have nothing month to month. I'm not sure how it's going to work in the future, because we do offer certain services that might include that, but we are still like discussing between ourselves how we want to approach that. But at the moment now, everything is on project base, and we actually, you ask how we differentiate ourselves as well. We are not an agency that we're gonna deliver in like a month or 2 or 3. We promise around 3 weeks. So because we want someone who comes to us with like a branding, let's say, and a website, we want to deliver to them fast. We want to deliver, focus on just that one client, and then go to the next client. So when we have clients, we basically don't want to stack them up, but they would have to wait in like a month or 2 to start working on their project.
I see. So you also create the websites, yeah?
Yes.
So what's your favorite platform to creating the websites?
It really depends of I started very young creating websites. I was always tech savvy, and I created my own website 10, maybe more, 12 years ago on WordPress, when WordPress was one of the only ones, really. The only one popular ones. But then I kind of like started like creating a second, and for someone else, then for a friend, and so that's how I kind of learned about different websites. At the moment, we offer the most Webflow.
It's a platform?
Yes, the Webflow, just because it's a new way and approach to design and how things are presented. But we work a lot on WordPress. Our website is on WordPress, and
you have a beautiful website. It's a very creative website.
Well, we are in a creative agency. What would you expect from us, right?
Yes. So can you talk about the AI? How it's helped you, or how it's not helped you with your clients? Because somebody can like, oh, can I just go to AI, create the logo, create whatever, and does it help you or not? Like, how do you see AI in the future for your creative company?
Well, AI is a great thing, I believe. I think it's everything how you use it as well. For us, it's been huge help. We don't use it in our creative process at all, because I think AI can't beat creativity that humans have, right?
Okay.
But for sure has helped us a lot with everyday tasks. Maybe sometimes that we would hire like people for certain things will help us do it. So we really can skip delegating that work to someone. But yeah, for sure, it has helped us with ideas for certain things. It helps me create my content for like my LinkedIn. Not really write for me because I believe ChatGPT is a horrible writer. But I think that it does help me with like ideas. And if I have like a question around like a certain niche, and yeah, that's for sure. But in our creative process, no, we don't use it as much. But like everyday tasks and things, yes, that's for sure. And I think it's great. I mean, what's the future looking like? Pretty very bright for us with it, but I believe it's everything how you're using it, right? It's like with everything else in life.
I know so many people create the logos, for example, with AI. So just like, oh, I can do that. But again, like it's not your type of clients. I understand.
Yeah, it's not my type of client. If someone it's into that and wants to do that, yeah, that's probably a great idea because they have a very low budget, right? But if someone wants a really logo that puts a human creativity into it, and AI at this time can't create that type of logos. They can have something very simple, which is totally fine as well. I think it works perfectly for a lot of brands. But, we are not about the logo. Logo is the least thing people really come to us for. The most they come for creative view on how it's their messaging going to be. I think that's what people come the most for, because AI cannot tell you who you are, cannot help you put your thoughts in writing. Yes, it can, but as I said, it's a horrible writer at the moment. But we really help them like find that voice, and logo. It's really the last thing people come to creative agency. It's most just finding their voice, and a lot of people for photography, influencer marketing. We do a little bit, we started doing again a little bit more paid ads just because we want to take our clients through that last step. Once we create their identity and help them through all that, then we want to give them the possibility to work with us again with like maybe ads and things like that. Yeah.
Do you do the copywriting too for people to find their voice?
Yes. Of course. I mean, that's actually the main thing people come for. Because I don't know what's your experience, but my experience before I had agency was going on certain websites and really having and needing so much time to just find out what is this person selling, right? You're like, okay, I'm not saying that it's a product, because it's a product. It's very simple, right? But if someone, it's a coach or it's a nutritionist or it's, I'm not sure, like different. Sometimes I went on someone's website and I was like, okay, and what am I learning here? What am I buying here? I'm not sure yet, right? So you would have to like really read and search what are they selling. And I think that was for me kind of like a turn off, I would say. So I really wanted to help those type of clients. I wanted those type of clients to help them simplify their voice. And when people land on their website, they exactly know what are they selling, who are they for, how are they going to help them, and that's what we exactly do.
Who is your like perfect client? What's your niche? Do you have like some niche, or you have which?
No, we don't have at the moment. I mean, I don't know if in the future we will niche more down with something, but it doesn't hurt us not to. We really, my creativity, I like to take things in a different way. So I don't want to like put myself in the box necessarily. I love working with products because I created a couple of brands myself in the past with products. So I think it's very enjoyable. working with clients, with their manufacturers, like, and all that process, helping them grow. But as well, we love working with coaches, a nutritionist, with fitness coaches as well, or like injectors, like a Botox people, because that's just because a lot of people from that kind of come to us as well. As well, yeah, I mean, really anyone who we can really help with. I mean, a lot of people are out there that are offering a service and are struggling to find their voice, right? Because to like kind of like stand out from the crowd type of thing. Yeah.
But I think that to find their own voice, they need to understand themselves a lot. And some people, they don't know themselves too. So don't you feel like this is maybe my voice, maybe this is my voice, like maybe I want to be this one, but after like 1 year they change a little bit because we grow, and then like my voice changed? Or it's kind of, if you really can find it.
Yes, completely. I agree. But I think that it's okay to change too. I mean, if you're working in something at the moment, you're working in that, you're finding your voice in that, and maybe in a year or two you'll say, okay, I don't think so, I like this, right? I don't think so, this is really for me. And or sometimes we would help you get certain copy for your website because that's how you want to be perceived. And then in a year you sometimes they might come back to us and say, well, now I'm doing this and this, right? I need like my copy to be a little adjusted, or my website or my logo or my colors. I'm now having a different demographic that I had before, or I am moving country, or I am moving, and I mean, life changes constantly, right? So I think that's the same with, especially when we talk about like a personal branding, right?
Yes.
If life changes constantly, that's normally we evolve, and your personal brand will adjust.
Do you do any like content marketing or no? Like just like some social media, or it's your past marketing?
No, we used to do in our marketing agency, but honestly, we're staying away from it.
Why?
Just because we noticed that social media, we would do like a templates and, for like a clients, a couple of templates, and help them, with their new brand and their new voice. We can do that, but not really necessarily social media. We do collaborate with social media agencies and partner with them, and we love partnering with other agencies, but ourselves not, because we believe it's very personal. And the way social media, it's like moving now, I think people want to see more and more real stuff. And very often you can't really do that for a client. They have to do it themselves. We can help them with photography. We can help them with videography, right? We can help them with a copy if they need for something, but we can't do it for them. They have to stand in front of camera. I think it's the same thing as I told you that as a business owner or a founder of a company, your job is to be out there and talk to people about it and network. And, that's your job as a business owner. I think it's the same with personal brand. Your job is to be out there, I mean, you can hire everyone and anyone to help you with videography and all that. But I think you are the person who has to work the hardest there.
When did you learn this lesson?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think with my clients a lot, because when we used to do social media, they would a lot come back to us, although they gave us all the photography. We did not do photography back then. They will do all the photos, and they will give us all the videos. And then we would post that, schedule, and kind of do and they would say, oh, this is not what I like. Oh, my hand, it's like this. My hand is not like this. And then, oh, I don't know how my eye looks there. But that's what we received from them. And then they were like, oh, I don't like this. I don't. So we were like thinking, oh my God, like, what are we doing wrong here? This is very difficult sometimes, right? Because we don't want, we had so many clients that we did not want to spend such a long time on very little things, right? And that's for us as an agency. But me, is because I focus more on my own marketing now and my own platforms, and I do content for myself. And I know that nobody can do it better than yourself, really. So I suggest, if anyone wants to go into it and do their personal brand, delegate a lot of other stuff that someone can really do, but do your own social media. I think that's very important. That's like your media. That's like, like your own advertising, and you're doing it for yourself. I think nobody can do better than you.
Yeah. And especially when you can find your voice. I think it's so
you can have a team. You can have a team of helping you doing things, and preparing everything and setting the camera and all that. Yeah, you can have people for that, but I don't think so that an agency can stand for you and do it. It can't. Or can do every little, like, if you want that can be done as well. Of course it can be done, but then you have to stay out of it, kind of.
Don't complain about the hand.
Don't come back and, oh, I didn't like this and didn't like that. Which I actually know that there are a lot of great clients there who really say, do it wherever you think you're an expert, But a lot of like a personal branding, we had like the challenge the most. There.
Do you do any traditional marketing, like journals or something? Did you have experience with them?
No, we kind of stepped straight away into digital marketing. So we did not really do any. We did like pay-per-clicks and as well SEO. That's like something very traditional, as you can say. But no, we did not do anything like that. No.
For the personal brand, like if somebody wants to do the personal branding, what's the channels are the best for him? Or it depends on the niche?
Oh, it really depends. Yes, really depends. Who do they want to approach, right? Like where do they want to find their client, and who is their client? Where are they searching for, and where do they want to be heard? Because if I'm a coach and I'm going after founders or business owners, probably the best will be LinkedIn, right? But if I am going after everyday younger girls, let's say, probably TikTok, right? So I think everything depends. If you're doing your channel on your own, it's very hard. I suggest always starting with one platform, max 2. You can't do all, and then grow there a little bit for some time, and learning everything about it, and going in that direction and that platform, and really put in a lot of effort there. And once you kind of have the flow, I think people will start searching you somewhere else too. Because, even probably yourself, if you're on LinkedIn, you see someone, and do you go, oh, do they have Instagram, or do they have a TikTok? You kind of yourself. Right? So I think with time you can kind of transition.
So what was your maybe 3 biggest takeaways of running the business? Like your biggest mistakes, or like what's kind of 3 tops?
Tell me again.
Or like your 3 biggest, like you did something and it's like, oh, I needed to do this way better. Maybe, or
So
like
like lessons.
some kind, yes, like 3 lessons. Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see. Well, first lesson, I would say just try different things.
Mm-hmm.
Try different things, because I come from not at all entrepreneurial family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I knew myself inside from a very young age that I'm not following the rules,
Mm-hmm.
and I did not feel comfortable in following the rules. And I liked always being like a little doing things different.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know, nobody taught me, and I didn't have really early in life any mentor or anyone. So I just tried different things. I went to university and finished, and I don't necessarily think it's a waste of time. I mean, in today's age, maybe, right? But back then, I would say maybe yes, maybe not. I mean, I really don't work in that, never used it, but I think it's a great place where you can meet people and learn some structure about certain things. And I just wanted to discover life and really learn. And that's how I started creating like a different brands, and then failed, right? And then move into something else. But you learn so much that the second or third or fourth time, it's so much easier. So that's one lesson. I think just try and go far as you like or as you can, right? And if you make it, great. If you fail, it's great too. And it's actually a very good lesson, because now you have learned so much things to do that you can just apply it to something else. Second, I think be careful who you are starting a business with. I think that was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Finding partners and partnering. And actually, I had a friend of mine asking me a couple of days ago. She said, what's the biggest lesson you want to, she's an entrepreneur as well. And she's like, but she's a very new entrepreneur, just been a couple of years. She has a very successful business, great business idea. But she's a little stuck now after 4 years. And she says she has lost a little bit that spark of being an entrepreneur, because, that's going to be a third thing, actually. But I wanted to say, she asked me what is like the biggest lesson I can maybe share with her. And I said to her, be careful who you partner with. Because I have partnered in the past with people who had that spark and wanted really to start something, and the idea sounded great, right? But when really shit hits the fan, they are nowhere to be found, right? And a lot of times I was putting a lot of money, a lot of my own brainstorming, my resources on the line, and they would kind of just like brush their hands and, oh, nice, right? And that's great, you did that, but they wanted the outcome of it and like the beautiful parts of it, but not put their hands in dirt. And I think you, as finding a partner, you have to really make sure that this person will go head into dirt with me. And that this is all in thing. Because being an entrepreneur is a very, very hard thing. And it not necessarily is going to bring you a lot of things at the beginning, or like a lot of fun and things, and you just have to love the journey. Really.
Yeah.
That's the second. And the third, I said something, it's going to be the third, and now I lost it.
It was a spark. It was a spark. When you like go to the business like you want it, and then something like, or like after 4 years that you lose a spark.
Yes. That's as well very important. I'm not sure if that was about it, but
Okay.
but I think it's very important wherever you build, to like the journey. That's very important, to like the journey. And if it's not necessarily the best journey or very enjoyable, you have to be okay with going through that journey, because entrepreneurship, you'll come some days home and be so exhausted and not believe in yourself, and have so many thoughts like, am I doing the right thing? But the next day you have to wake up and do it all over again and all over again. And I know what was the thing actually was to know which stage of business you are good for. That's a big one, because I think when I started in this process, that I love the beginnings. I love the idea creating. I love the website. Actually, what I'm doing now, right? For other businesses. I loved creating websites and their branding, their voice, and starting from scratch and building all that up. But I did not like much the idea of, now we have to grow this, and now we have to, maybe ask for funding and, go to like a next level. And how are we going to like grow our team and being a CEO and having a lot of people? No, that's not for me. I like my freedom. I like those beginning stages. And at the beginning, I was kind of beating myself up a little bit because of that. I was like, why am I get so bored in certain, stage of it. And I'm like, oh, now I want something else. Right. And I was like beating myself up. I'm like, oh, I'm so annoyed with myself because I'm like not pushing through to the next stage and the next stage. And I think you just have to be okay. You are great in the beginning stages and you're fine with that. Someone else is great in the stages of like $500,000 and up. Someone, 10 millions and up. They're great in that stage. They're great growing businesses. So I think just find that stage that you enjoy for yourself. And then if you create a business and it's growing, just know that it's a time to maybe put it into someone else's hands, or sell it, sell it to someone else. Yeah.
It definitely can relate to it. So
which part?
It's a part where, like I had in my business, but I started something and then it's like, I can't do it anymore. Like it was fun in the beginning. I don't want to grow. It's like, I move on. And so like, I had so many like judgeful, like things from my husband or my parents, like, you're changing something again. You're changing something. It's like, yes, again, I have a new idea.
Well, because, as well, I believe sometimes you have to have grace with yourself too, and this is who I am and it's okay, right? And if you love that, then just be that, right? And as well, I believe if you find spark in something that you really love doing, you will push through, It just that maybe as well, that was not it for you. And that's okay too, right?
Yeah. I think like also a community, it's very important to have like a community with the business people who understand you.
Big one. Yes. Big one. Yeah. Big one, because, being an entrepreneur, it's something very unique, and it takes a certain personality, right? You don't just wake up and I want to be an entrepreneur today. I think it takes a certain people to with certain personalities to do that. So, so it's great when you surround yourself with those type of people, and I love it. I love it, and I am more and more feeling great in growing my community with women, and friends that are as well building businesses and exchanging those ideas, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, perfect. So, what's the future for your creative agency? How you see yourself in 5-10 years?
Good question. I mean, we for sure want to grow it to a certain point that it's gonna be kind of self-sufficient in a way that we don't have to always be out there and grind. I believe that at a certain point we will get to a place where we will probably either hire someone who's going to overlook everything, or we will sell it. We love, at the moment, we are really enjoying this journey and this process, and we love growing it and meeting people and, providing them for something that is going to help them grow and their businesses. It's very enjoyable. But yeah, is this forever? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think
until next idea.
Until next idea. We do have some ideas though. My husband has an AI idea, which he's working on. And that's like gonna be a totally different journey on its own. So yeah, I don't know, if that idea comes to life and starts growing, we probably gonna have to choose one or another, right?
Yeah.
We are really going with the flow.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your takeaway, for your feedback, and for your answers. I think everybody will have interesting to listen to it, and helpful for everybody, for any entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Great. And so thank you again.
Thanks. Bye-bye.